being likable matters. Unfortunately for me, as someone who's not very likable, it matters quite a bit. It's a really big predictor of how happy you're going to be, how successful you're going to be, how much your life is going to look like what you want it to look like. And there are things that we're all doing without even realizing it that actually make us really not likable. So we're going to get into those today. Okay, listen, we all know about talking too much. We all know about complaining. And if you don't know, you clearly have not listened to other Plush podcast episodes because it's literally all I talk about. But there are other things that we're all doing all the time that make us really not likable. Number one is what I call Trojan bragging. So I think we all know about bragging, right? But what I'm talking about are ways that we're bragging without explicitly and directly bragging, which is actually far more annoying and less likable than just really fucking directly bragging. So let's get into some of the examples. The first one, and this is the one that I see the most, and it's the one that I personally am the most guilty of, is humble, not even humble bragging. It's self-deprecation or bragging that is cloaked in self-deprecation. So a really good example of something I used to do kind of at the height of I would say the early stages of my eating disorder is I would say things like, oh my God, my boobs are so small. I'd kind of, it would seem like I was making fun of myself for having small boobs. But what I was actually trying to convey is I'm so skinny. It was a back door. It was a Trojan horse way of conveying oh my God, I'm so skinny without saying it. So I would just make fun of myself for these other things that were linked to being skinny. Hold on, I have a whole list of other Trojan bragging examples. Oh. There we go. Ooh, okay. Another one is only talking about things that interest you. Now, at first you might be but how is that related to bragging? Here's how. When you only talk about things that you're really competent and confident in, the reason that you're doing that, sure, maybe there's an element of selfishness or just being really serious and really passionate or whatever. But really, I think that the reason people do this is because they're trying to convey look, I'm smart, I'm competent, I know things. So they just stick to the topics that they feel that way on as a way of just conveying that indirectly. This is something that I actually wasn't really aware of, but I have a friend who does this, right? I'm not even going to say what this, she only talks about things that interest her, to the point where literally people could be talking about something else and she'll just change the subject to something else. It's all she'll talk about, and it's so fucking annoying. And I was talking about it with a mutual friend once who is a doctor. And that friend was yeah, listen, no one likes this person because she does this. And she was but I will say, as a doctor, and she was saying everyone in our friend group thinks that she's really selfish and self-centered for doing this, but I actually don't think it comes from a place of being selfish and self-centered. She was I actually think that she has undiagnosed autism and she is deeply, deeply, deeply insecure. And this is what my friend who's a doctor was saying, was that she basically, this is a common thing in neurodivergence or in certain types of neurodivergence where people will stick to topics that they're confident in so that they can almost self-aggrandize and be look, I'm not incompetent, I'm not stupid, I'm not this, I'm not that. By the way, I'm not in no way, shape, or form implying that neurodivergence equals stupidity. I'm just saying that insecurity. So that's what's going on there. So that's why I wrote that down as a form of quote unquote Trojan bragging. And by the way, if you don't know what I mean by Trojan bragging, it's a reference to the Trojan horse. And if you're not familiar with that, Google it, because I'm not a history expert. I mean, I know the situation, but I'm not going to be the one who explains it to you. And then another one is name dropping or place dropping. Now, this is like more direct bragging than it is like Trojan bragging, but it is kind of insidious. I think we all do it without realizing that we're doing it. So just something to be like really aware of. It's like, whose names am I bringing up and like what places am I bringing up? Another one is like like concern bragging or worry bragging or even complain bragging. So this is like a way where you backdoor your bragging in through like a complaint or a worry or a concern. Again, in early days of eating disorder stuff, something I used to say is like, oh my God, it's like so hard to find clothes because like there's so much vanity sizing in the US and I just like don't fit into anything. My goal wasn't to actually complain that I can't find clothes. My actual goal was to convey, oh my God, look at me, I'm so skinny. Another one that I see all the time, literally all the time, is people being like, oh my God, I just like forgot to eat, or like, oh my God, I've just like been so busy, I just like didn't have time to eat, or like, oh my God, some days like I like, oh my gosh, look at me, silly me, like whoopsie, I just like forget to eat. What you're trying to convey is like, I'm skinny. That's literally what you're trying to convey, but you're cloaking it in this like form of like concern or worry or whatever. Okay, another one. I love these. Background bragging. Okay, so this is when there's something that's like not the focal point, but it's like in the background, and it's like a way of bragging. So sorry, I'm like very distracted. Sam's doing something. What do you do? She just ate something. Sam, what did you eat? She's at my feet. You can't see her. I don't know. She like ate part of her bed or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay. So a version of this that I've done in the past is like tell a story. And then in the story, like I mention something like to give context that has nothing to do with the story. Like, for example, like, oh my God, the other day when I walked out the Chanel store, like blah, 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 blah happened. The fact that I was in a Chanel store has literally nothing to do with the story. It's just couched in there to be like, look at me. I pretend to be rich. I was going to say I'm rich. I'm not, you know? Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? A really good example of this is in 2020 or so, when Amrata had her kid, she posted, by the way, I actually love Amrata these days, so I hate bringing this up, but it is a really good example of background bragging. By the way, all of these are like terms I've made up. As far as I know, they're not like real terms that people use. So don't like, for example, tomorrow talk about like background bragging to someone expecting them to know what it means. I mean, maybe people say this, I don't know, but I'm just saying be aware of that. Okay, so after she gave birth, and like really soon after she gave birth, I mean like a week or two or something after she gave birth, she posted a selfie of herself where she looked insane. Like it's like inconceivable that a person bounced back like that. Like inconceivable. Like only she could do it. Like she's like a fucking alien. She's so hot. And when you look at the photo, it begs the question, like I think everyone's first reaction would have been, no, that must have been taken before she was pregnant, or like the very, very, very beginning of her first trimester or something. But she captioned it, excuse the docutot. Now, if you're not familiar, I am barely familiar. A docutot is like some kind of like, I don't like, it looks like a dog bed that you put your baby in for whatever reason. I don't know. Like everyone has them. And in the photo, like she took a mirror selfie and her bed is in the background and there's a bunch of shit on the bed, including a DockATot. But like it's really hard to see the DockATot. Like it's not like this big prominent thing like the DockATot. And it really appeared as though, now this wasn't my take, there is this influencer, if you're not familiar, not skinny but not fat, Amanda Hirsch. Like if you're not familiar, I don't know what rock you're living under. Like she like posts about pop culture and stuff. She's like very big in that space. And at the time she was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, it's like, just like, it's very clear that that caption is meant to say, no, this photo is taken postpartum. I just look this hot postpartum. But she doesn't just directly say that. Instead, she does this like weird background thing to convey that sentiment without directly saying that sentiment. And I do want to take this moment to say something that I was waiting until the end to say, which is, it's not even the bragging that's the issue. It's the fact that you're not being direct about the bragging that's the issue. Anyway, so let's look at more background bragging examples that I pulled out. The know-it-alls, like the people who say like, well, actually, like blah, blah. Like anytime someone says something, it's like, oh, you just have to just let people be wrong, you know? Like it's fine. Just let people be wrong. You don't, I do this all the time. I have such intense know-it-all complex. Like I constantly have to remind myself, like, you don't have to correct this. It's fine. Let them be wrong. It's fine. Like, because it's not that I actually want to correct. Like there are times where I will correct something if I like genuinely am like, okay, no, this person needs to know. But 99% of the time, my only intention is to convey like, oh my God, look at me. I'm smart. I know things. It's unnecessary. It's so fucking annoying. Okay. There's like two more that I wrote down. And this is one that straight women, in my opinion, are the most guilty of. I should specify straight cisgendered women are the most guilty of that I've seen. And that's partner bragging. And that's when you brag about traits of the person that you're dating or things that they do for you. I do this all the time. Literally all the time. But okay, I do think that there's a difference between just like really admiring the person that you're with and like talking them up versus like, oh my God, like, have you like, oh, his dick is so big, or like, blah, 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 or like he does this for me, he bought this for me, he did that for me. It's like a way of self-aggrandizing yourself through the person that you're with. And then this last one is one that every single one of us does, and that's busy bragging. Oh man, I'm so busy. And this is, it goes right along with the complaint bragging, but like what you're really doing aside from complaining and being annoying is also, and I do this all the fucking time. Okay. I'm calling myself out on my shit, like so fucking hardcore, but ultimately you're just trying to say like, look at me, I'm special, I'm important, I'm not a loser. It's so fucking annoying. Okay. So for all of these like Trojan bragging things, there are two real reasons why it's annoying. Number one, humility is actually a trait that consistently shows up as a really likable trait. And then number two, and obviously bragging in any form, whether it's direct or quote unquote Trojan bragging, is not humble. But number two, sincerity is also always consistently ranked as a really likable trait. And this is the ultimate reason why I think Trojan bragging is as annoying as it is. It's because it's insincere. You're not saying what you want to say. You're just saying some bullshit in order to try to fish for compliments and praise and recognition and being seen and being adored. And the thing is, no amount of Trojan bragging is going to get those things for you. So ultimately, truly the fix here is like, you've got to go to fucking therapy because you're searching for something. You're searching for a type of external validation that's never going to fill that hole. But there are conscious things that we can do in the meantime to mitigate this and to complement any like deeper work that we're doing in therapy and counseling with, you know, and whatever you may be doing. The number one, and I would say like the most important thing is every time you want to like say or do something, just stop and ask yourself, why am I saying this? Why am I doing this? Is it for the direct, explicit reason, or am I trying to convey something without saying that thing? If it's the latter, then just stop and don't do it. It probably doesn't fucking need to be said. Number two, I'm going to go back to my notes. Okay. Shift your focus outward. Ask people questions and invest in getting to know them. Number three, just brag to people explicitly when you want to brag about something. But two things that I think make it more palatable. Number one, like try to limit your bragging to people that you know, like you actually know really well. Like I think parents are the best people to brag to. Like your parents are going to want to hear about all of your accomplishments 24/7. Like call them constantly and tell them, like your best friends, the people closest to you, like share your wins. And also the other thing that I think makes it so much more palatable is cloak it in gratitude. Like truly, like, oh my God, I'm so fucking grateful. Like things are going really well for me this year. Like I'm so grateful. Like I'm the busiest I've ever been. I'm booked and busy. Like holy shit, younger me would have killed for this. Like that's not unlike, but like see how different that is than like, oh, I don't even know when I can have time to like go take a coffee break. I'm so busy. And then lastly, and this might be the most important thing, give yourself praise. Because no amount of getting praise from other people is going to fill that void in your heart, but getting it from yourself really can. Okay, now that we're done with the Trojan bragging, let's talk about the second thing that makes you really unlikable that I think we're all doing and we don't even realize that we're doing it. And that's having a negative view of people. And this is something, it actually took a while for it to click for me. I really was thinking about one of my friends, and like one of my friends I have who's like truly one of the least likable people I've ever met. You may be wondering, why are you friends with this person? And the answer is I truly don't know. I truly don't know. So she, well, I mean, she has like redeeming qualities, whatever, you know, yada, yada, yada. But one of the things that she does that's like, it really took me a long time to click, like, this is something she does that's so unlikable. Like, I always just knew, like, oh, she's annoying, whatever. But I didn't realize, like, I really had to think about, like, okay, what does she do that is so annoying? And, like, what can we learn from it? And actually, something I heard from Vanessa Van Edwards made it click for me. So if you're not familiar, Vanessa Van Edwards is, I don't even know what her job title is or anything, or like what her like credentials are, but she does a ton of research in likability. Like that's her thing, that's her field. And she researched popularity in schools and found that the most popular kids had the longest list of people that they liked, which I thought was really fascinating. And then I started to think about like people on campus, like at various stages of school, who were like the class president, right? Like the guy, like it tended to be guys, you know, patriarchy, misogyny, whatever, who ended up becoming class president. None of them were dicks. Like actually none of them were like the captain of the football team. A lot of them weren't even like particularly good looking or anything. But one thing they all had in common is they were really nice to everyone. Like they just seemed to like everyone. This one guy in particular, I'm actually going to talk about him by name because like whatever. This guy, Ben, that I went to law school with. So my first semester of law school, I had like no friends. I like wasn't cool at all. Like I got really sick. I actually got this like crazy tooth infection, like a really bad abscess tooth. Like it actually like deformed my face. It was so bad. Like it like fucked with my jawbone. Like it's a whole thing. Anyway, I was like really, like, I don't want to be dramatic, but if I had addressed it just one day later, I may have died. Like it was a really bad abscess. Like I had to do weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of like the most intense antibiotic, Flagyl, if you're familiar with it. It's no fucking joke. And and you like really, like you can't even think about drinking on Flagyl. Like literally the prescription is like, if you look at alcohol, you might die. Like it's insane. And I like kept having to go to the dentist like every few days to like work on it more. I mean, it was like a really bad abscess. Like I remember at some point I was like, why can't you just drain it? He's like, cause you'll die. Like that's why. It was really out of control. Anyway, and like, you know, whatever, I was socially awkward. Like a lot of reasons why I didn't really like get to know people my first semester of law school. But this guy, Ben, who actually became class president, I remember he was just like always really nice to me, like really, really nice to me. And I remember feeling like he doesn't have to be nice to me. Like I'm such a loser. No one knows me. No one gives a fuck about me. But he like always wanted to, like, he just made everyone feel included. And that's such a likable trait. And I think that, like, going back to my annoying friend, something she does that is part of the reason why she's so annoying. Are you comfortable, Mama? Do you need to readjust? Yes. Okay. Why don't you lay like that? Okay, sorry about that. The way she talks about people is so vile. It's so nasty. Like she is like the most negative stance on things. Like she always takes like the most like pessimistic view of humanity, of people, I'll give you a good example. I remember in the last Summer Olympics, break dancing. I actually am like physically uncomfortable talking about this. Okay. You guys remember the Australian break dancer girl from Reagan from the last Olympics, and how, you know, it was fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry, but like that performance was fucking embarrassing. And it was like so sad. Like this poor girl, like she just like she was like so excited, and like she wore her, like it like actually makes me cry sometimes how she wore her like Australian trackies and stuff, and was just like so excited to rep Australia, and she put the little kangaroo move in there. And then her like when she talked about it afterwards, she was like, I know I wasn't as technically good as a lot of the other people, so I just like tried to be more creative with it, blah blah. And it wasn't good, okay? Like it was, I mean, it was funny. Like she spent a significant amount of time on the ground seemingly rolling around, you know? But, and like, okay, we all had a little laugh, but then it like got to be really, really sad. Like it actually genuinely became so sad the way everyone was making fun of her. And it would make me really, really sad as someone who's like been bullied and like, you know, is like constantly embarrassing myself. I was like, I don't like how we're all making fun of this girl. And my annoying friend like would not stop. And I like kept telling her, I was like, I actually like feel bad for her, like blah blah. Like I like say like stop, like just stop making fun of her to me. Like I don't want to hear it. And I remember at some point she's like, no, well, she knows what she did. I was like, what do you mean? You think she intentionally embarrassed the shit out of herself on a public stage? And it's like she just had all these like conspiracy theories about like I'm not even gonna get into it. I just think like, if that is your view of humanity, you're such a fucking loser, and like you should stop. Like it's just such a losery way to be. And I actually think what lies beneath it is like we grew up in the 90s, and 90s high school movies just like have this portrayal of like the cool kids being like kind of bullies and mean and like whatever. But the reality is so the opposite. Like the cool kids are not like that. And like, yeah, maybe when you were in high school, there were like one or two popular kids that were mean, but by and large, the vast majority of them were actually really, really nice. And by like being like mean and snarky and like whatever, I think what we think we're doing is like we're embodying that kind of like too cool for school attitude. But what we're actually doing is revealing like how big of losers we are. And like, we need to fucking stop. Like, we need to fucking stop. Like, there's nothing cooler than kindness, truly. Okay, and that brings me to the last trait that I wrote down as being highly unlikable that we might not realize what we're doing. And I actually can't remember what it is. Hold on. Hold tight, please. Oh, that's being too serious. Okay, so this annoying friend of mine is certainly like that. I have exes. In fact, Van Guy, I'll just be direct. Like, I literally broke up with Van Guy, among other reasons, because he was like too serious. Like, he couldn't just like joke around and be silly. And it was just like not fun to be around. There's this other girl I once met I met her a few times, like through a friend, and she used to always reply to my stories and like never get like the joke or the sarcasm or whatever. Like, it was just like she would like take things so literally and seriously. And I was like, girl, I'm making a fucking joke. Relax. Like, it's not like she'd be offended. She just like wouldn't pick up on it. And it was just like, so like, no one wants to be around really stuffy people all the time. And like, it's great to be like passionate about something and like be serious about your work or whatever. But if you're not able to turn it off at times, people aren't going to want to be around you. Like that's just it. So what I would recommend for this, honestly, is to really embody more play in your life. Like, find ways to tap into that inner childlike sense of play and like regain your sense of awe and just connect with what really matters. Because like, you can sit there and talk about your job all day long and everyone's going to know that you're like a really competent, amazing, smart person, but no one's going to like you. And like, what are you really achieving there? Like, this friend that I'm talking about, like, she's really smart. I don't think anyone doubts that, but like, no one wants to be around her. Because like, she's not fun. Like, no one wants to be around someone who's not fun. In fact, most people don't even want to work around people who aren't fun, let alone choose to be around them in their time off of work. Anyway, if you want more elaboration on any of these subjects, let me know. Like, I'm happy to research things. I don't think I'm like a natural expert on likability. I don't think I'm a particularly likable person, but like, I try, you know, I fucking try. And that's what I'm doing here. Aside from the part of my nail is broken and it's kind of driving me crazy. So that's what you're witnessing over here. Anyway, check out Thursday's Blush Kitchen. It's the last in our series, the meal prep series. So go check those out. I made a bunch of fucking bowls and they're amazing. And I think you're going to fucking love them. Okay. We'll chat next week. Love ya. Bye.